So how's it going? Here I am playing Darksiders 2, which is basically it's a fucking brilliant game. It really is fantastic. So it's quite a lot like the first one in terms of the action, how it plays, the way you make combos, that sort of thing. With a little extra. The combat is certainly deeper this time. Now you've got a whole number of different ways you can customize your character. So as you can see, as you level up, you gain skill points, and you can invest different points in different skill trees to create more of a magic based or a melee based fighter. We now pick up heaps and heaps of different equipment, and using different pieces of equipment will change your appearance, which is pretty awesome. We have basically quite a number of really large maps to explore, and each one is just as detailed as the next. I'll just play the game for a bit, and I'll just have a talk about the game. Sorry if the sound quality is lacking or whatever. Now the frame rate you're going to see, obviously if you're watching this, you're most likely watching it on YouTube, so you're only going to see 30 frames per second, because that's just the upper limit of what YouTube can show. However, the game does run at a blistering pace of 60 frames a second, so it looks like there's a treasure chest up here somewhere. I might get access to that just a bit later. Here we go. Climb up these walls. So as you can see, Darksiders is sort of borrowed heavily from many other successful games. The games it's most often compared to are Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, that sort of era of Zelda, and action resembling, let's say something like God of War. However, now it starts to feel a lot more like Prince of Persia. This is just a quest item I picked up. I'm going to have to return that to the bloke who wanted me to find it. Yeah. So as I said, Prince of Persia, and at times certain scenes are perhaps remnant of something like Shadow of the Colossus. Mostly unrelated though, absolutely spectacular game in its own right. So here I am just picking up bits and pieces, these boatman coins, which we can later on trade with Vulgrim, the resident demon, in order to acquire different pieces of superior equipment. Now, one of the things you can pick up are possessed weapons, and the possessed weapons can be fed with other items. So as you see, I just picked up some fairly useless scythes. That's okay. Oh look, I can't upgrade this one. I can upgrade this one, and I can use these items that I'm not using, feed them to this weapon, and the stats of the weapon will increase, and we'll have some degree of control over the kind of upgrade we want to do. I'm going to go for extra critical damage. So let's keep moving. We can send our trusty crow. He's saying he wants us to go through this door here, so that's what we'll do. If you ever get lost, basically, you can just ask the crow to go and investigate for you. Plenty of barrel busting to pick up, various bits of gold and other pieces of loot. We've got a construct just here, and this is one of the many different kinds of puzzles available in the game. So this constructs sort of have a two-part process to the puzzle. Now it looks like we're going to want to get the construct up there, so if we drop it off on the platform, I can see a bit of a ledge up here we want to climb by the looks of things. Okay, it looks like I'm heading up. Yeah, as I said, the constructs are sort of have a two-part puzzle mechanism. First of all, they're capable of destroying, or 3 parts perhaps, they're capable of destroying corruption in corrupted areas, which are essentially just a block in order to stop you from progressing from one area to the other. So what we can do, there's another construct up here. We can jump in, destroy that corruption. Second part of the construct puzzle mechanism is that they, as you can see, they ride along on this ball, and this ball basically can stick into particular slots in the ground and act as triggers. I'm just going to try and punch my way through that corruption. There we go. As you can see, we can drop our construct into this hole just here. This will activate us to get through that door. But before I go for that puzzle, I'm going to see what this one here does. It looks like it'll open that gate for us right there. And it does. As you can see, there are indicators on the ground that show us what the switches will activate. So we've got another closed gate just there. Okay, and it looks like we want to try and get that guy around here. This would be why, obviously, we want to try and get that other construct up that platform. But it seems that before we can do that, we're actually going to have to head to the other side. Okay, so I'll go and activate this switch over here, and here we come to the third part of the construct's puzzle mechanism. Oh no, that isn't required for this section. That's alright. So I'll leave this door open. I'll jump across these beams right here. Oh, hang on. Can I do that? No, I can't, but I can drop down here, pick up this treasure chest. Okay, so this looks like it'll just take me straight back up. There's obviously a puzzle we're going to have to solve. There are probably some of you going, hey, I know the answer to this already. Well, look, that's fantastic. I'm just going to have to figure out what needs to be done. Okay, it looks like I should be able to roll that construct back down here, doesn't it? So ultimately what they've done with this game is they took everything about the first one that was spectacular, which is of course the art style, the voice acting, the story, excellent story, basically a different kind of take on, I suppose you'd almost call it Christian theology, you know, heaven, hell, angels, demons, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And so yes, they've taken that and put their own slant on that mythology, and the characterization and the voice acting are amazing. Some of the voices in this game, I'm not sure if I remember all the actors' names, but Matthew Wilcott, I can't remember his name. I think it might be Michael Wilcott. He's I remember him as the warden from The Count of Monte Cristo. So yeah, he's an awesome voice actor. He's the guy who actually voices Death. Now the voice of the old Maker in this is James Cosmo, and he does you might know him from Game of Thrones. If you watch Game of Thrones, which you should. Obviously the books are fantastic as well. But yes, there are no voice actors in books, only in TV series, so that's where you'd know him from, the TV series of Game of Thrones. He's, yeah, the old bear, what's his name, Mormont. The guy who runs Castle Black, which is, you know, the headquarters or the holdfast of the Night's Watch. Liam O'Brien no doubt makes a guest appearance at some point during this game as War, being of course the protagonist of the first game in the series. So it looks like we've just triggered something here. Fairly large area, this one. Okay, a few enemies to deal with, no worries. Look, we can probably activate our minions here. Give us a bit of a helping hand. One of the magical abilities that you can upgrade. So basically got undead minions that will cruise around and destroy our opponents. Oh yes, we can get along here. Rather agile, the Grim Reaper, isn't he? So that's who we are. Obviously, the protagonist is Death, which I think Death is the fourth horseman of the apocalypse. I'm not sure. Oh, there's quite a few of these. Oh, ow, 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 ow. Probably need to take a health potion. Big, beefy enemies, no worries. So we have to be a little bit careful around them, obviously. Fail. Double fail. That's what happens when you're not concentrating hard enough. Yes, I'm playing very, very badly. Not really befitting of an old school gamer. That's it though, with these new games, they're mostly so easy, you do get pretty lazy and just start to sort of mash your way through. Which isn't really the ideal way to handle these things, but you certainly can fall into a trap of doing that. I was quite sure that I dodged that. Okay. So, although you can't see it at the moment because I'm literally in the midst of a dungeon, the world is quite open. You really can explore a lot of different areas, and other than the fact that you've got story quests that you do need to complete to ultimately progress through the game, there are a whole bunch of side quests, and the order that you handle that stuff really isn't forced on you at all. Now, I guess you can still call the game linear in terms of the story. I'm pretty sure there's only one way the story can turn out. Not that I've actually finished the game yet. However, there are many ways to go about getting to that goal. Okay, looks like we need to blow this switch free. And we're going to want that in that little socket in the ground over there. So, as you can see, these balls are spheres. Perhaps is a better word to use than balls. These are basically exactly the same as the travel mechanism for the constructs. So I don't want to talk too much about the actual story because I literally just don't want to spoil anything. But I will say that the story takes place at different periods of time. You certainly start out at the... You basically start around the same time. How do I explain this? The first sort of 5 minutes, 10 minutes of Darksiders 1 happen before the start of this game. But then the subsequent movements in Darksiders 1 elapse after this point in this game, but there is a bit of forwards and backwards, so you've got some fairly interesting Back to the Future type story threads, and time travel is always fascinating, you know, creating paradoxes and that sort of thing, because of course to change the future you change the past. And I mean, just personally, I find that stuff quite fascinating. I really love a good story, and I certainly love a very complex story. Okay, these guys look fairly mean. I swear I dodged that. I guess I just didn't do it fast enough. They're quite keen on hitting me. Oh, and they finally did hit me. That's quite painful, really. Ouch. Try and bust these crackers open. Oh. Arise, minions, arise. Okay. That was, I won't say stressful, but, you know, the tension definitely rose just a little bit. I would say the game has a worthwhile challenge. It's not particularly difficult. I mean, basically the game is designed around the idea that you will succeed and you will overcome the challenges, but there certainly are challenges. In fact, perhaps the most challenging aspect of the game isn't so much the combat, but rather the puzzles, because basically every dungeon you go into is a maze, requiring you to solve the puzzles in one area before you can progress to the next area. And as you progress through the game and acquire more and more character abilities, you can then return to older dungeons and discover secrets that you didn't previously discover. So this looks important, doesn't it? Coming up to some sort of dais here. I'm expecting a boss. Oh, I've got no health potions left, so I'm probably in a lot of trouble, to be honest. Now the video is starting to get pretty long now, but I wouldn't want to stop the video before I conquered this boss. Wow. Okay, so we've got a few. Oh, okay, so we can slam the ground and that'll fuck me up. I'm just having a look at the props around the arena. Okay, so I've got randomly exploding bombs. I jumped! Okay, so I want to grab these bombs, obviously, and throw them at him. Yep, that's what we want. Smash this core by the looks of things. Ah! Whoa, this... Oh, get... Oh no, I'm in trouble. This method certainly seems to be working. Just have to keep an eye out for those bombs, obviously. Yeah, it didn't get me that time. Oh, that hurt. Yes, he took some fairly heavy damage that time. Although I am on my last legs, I should prove successful. Just got to watch out for those shockwaves, obviously. Keep an eye out for the bombs. Okay, shockwave. Grab this bomb. Hang on. Did that? Yeah, it did. Come on. Explode! That's precisely what I wanted. That's rather epic slash. I am satisfied. Nice, dropped some nice fat loots for me. And he's opened the way. Oh, hang on. Okay, I think I recognise that that door over there that isn't quite a door. But before I talk to him, of course, it is my duty to pillage all of the available loot in the area. Picking up lots of weapons, lots of armor. That's fantastic. They can go and feed the weapons. That is, if any of them aren't, great enough to replace one of the equipment that I'm using at the moment. So let's just have a look, see what I've got equipped. Well, that's got a good damage on it, but I wouldn't want to lose my buffs. Okay, nothing that I can't afford to pump into my my machine here. Upgrade this stuff. Fantastic. Critical chance or critical damage. Wow. What's my current critical chance? I should have checked, shouldn't I? I can't now. Look, I'm going to go for critical damage. Technically, it's a smaller overall upgrade. However, once you build your critical chance up to a reasonable amount, I think it reaches sort of like a, ironically, no pun intended, a critical mass, so that you literally can't increase. Oh, there we go. Now we've got critical chance as well. So so what I was saying is basically, once you get your critical chance up to a certain amount, I don't think it can exceed a certain amount. But your critical damage can literally just keep going up and up. So that's fully upgraded now. Fantastic. That will definitely pack a punch. So let's have a look at this little cutscene. That's a huge bitch. So that's quite impressive, isn't it? I think so. I think it looks great. Just the scale of the game.
You're not corrupt. Not yet. Corrupted. Then it was not a dream. The Makers have need of me.
Makers say that you can reach the foundry, and that a guardian lies with you.
I'm just trying not to talk over the cutscene so you can get a taste for the voice acting, which really is great.
And now you will need my help.
Corruption spreads across the realm and you slumber.
Stone is heavy. It is easier to rest. In my dreams I can move again. In my dreams I am flesh.
This place, what was it?
I cannot tell you. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Rather forgetful old
My
giant.
tongue seems to be elsewhere.
Will you help me, old one?
Yes.
So we're going for a ride.
Shall we?
Hold on, little one.
This is a little reminiscent of Lord of the Rings. You know, Merry and Pippin up on hitching a ride on Treebeard.
In my slumber, I have felt the Guardian reach into my dreams.
We've got a bit of an evil eye of Sauron in the background there too, as you can see.
There is a hunger.
So all this area that you can see right now in the cutscene, this is all explorable.
He has much in common with corruption. You must speak with Adar and make your peace before we cross over. There may be no crossing back.
And off he goes. Now just before I end the video, I'll just get a little bit of a panoramic sort of shot so you can just see this this nice little sort of area we can cruise around in. We've got our trusty horse named Despair, of course, if you're up on your theology. And right now we're just headed back to the forge. Now you can fast travel, but we're not that far, so I think I'll just leg it. Oh look there, I can see something down there. Another boatman coin, which is very useful obviously. Okay, so we just now, as you can see, this is sort of cut up into a discrete area, but right in here we've got the Maker's Forge, named it's Tristone. It just looks fucking great. Like the rest of the game, everything just looks great. Now, not everybody's going to like the comic art type of graphical style. I mean, I like it. I'm not even the hugest comic fan. I just love the art. Everyone looks like a superhero, and that's just badass. Okay, yeah, this is a trainer. I've learned all of his moves, but I'll just take a moment and introduce you to some of the NPCs in this area we get to talk to. Right down here we've got the old Maker, and he's the one who I mentioned earlier, James Cosmo.
Am I any closer to the tree? Tell me now, old one, or you may never get the chance. I hear the foundry is dangerous.
As is the tree, horseman, and the entire forest. That is why you must awaken the Guardian. But have you asked yourself, why seek the tree?
The tree of life is where I will find my brother's absolution.
The tree of life is a gateway. From it, one may travel to places undreamed of, whether a world of oceans and forests, or ice, or endless night. The tree exists there. It may appear different, yet it is the same tree. And
The Makers, who are this giant race, they actually kind of remind me of like the art style of the dwarves in Warcraft and World of Warcraft. But they're, you know, supersized fucking dwarves, which is just awesome. I mean, I like it anyway. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. I'll leave it there for the moment because it's quite long already and it's going to take forever to encode on my computer. But
what was old?
Such is life. Yeah, so look, I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for joining me, watching the video. If you've watched this much of it, you're obviously truly dedicated to the awesomeness that is Darksiders 2. You should get this game. If you're just not going to buy it, just fucking find a torrent and download the shit. This is worth getting. Okay, cool, thanks. I'll see you guys later.